Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 and our ongoing struggles with the new reality of life without a striker. Today, things are unlikely to get any better as we're taking on the best team in the league. And before I started recording today, I went into my tactics and I played around a bit to try to see if I could figure out something better to accomplish it. But after a bunch of messing around, I really couldn't come up with anything better because most of the other tactics would just put more people who aren't good at the front. So I have to pretty much stick with what I've got going on, where I'm counting on my wings to get shots in, hoping for set pieces to get goals. And so I'm going to keep the same formation I've been rolling. It's worked for 8 years, and we're falling apart right now, which is rough, but there really doesn't seem to be a lot I can do to improve on it. It's just a case of not having anyone capable of playing in a rather key position well. And of course, to just compound problems, Reeve Fountain is getting exhausted, so we're going to have to rest him. Even though there's only one match left before the international break, I can't risk him getting hurt. And it's not the worst because I'm pretty resigned to losing this match already. I feel like my board might not like it too much, but it's really going to be a case of just hang on and try to stay as high as you can for the rest of the season. It's a good thing they had modest expectations from me because without a functional striker, there's no way we can continue to perform at the level we had been. That may have been a mistake to let those guys go to the under 18 match, because I may have needed them. I'm facing a little bit of an injury problem at Canada, but the only really relevant one is Josifov, who's been making the team regularly, but he's not such a key player that I feel terribly bad about not being able to pick him. Both Brogolard and Milo will be recovered in time for the Canada matches. Actually, it's probably fine to let them go to the under 19 match. It's a couple days away. They're young. They'll recover. And most likely, if I do need them, I'll be calling them off the bench. I won't be playing them the entire match. Although, given my injury and suspension situation, I may have to call some unlikely players in to start. At least the youth teams are getting good results. This is potentially important because getting a good run in the FA Cup could save our season. And getting a lower ranked team again is really good. I think we might have drawn the last. We did. We drew the last non-Premier League side. So we're getting lucky with our draws in the SA Cup, which is nice. Because this is a very winnable match for us, even without any sort of finishing, as was our match in the Continental tournament. So we're getting a bit lucky to offset our bad luck. But yeah, look at the amount of changes I have to make. I am having to start Manuzzi, it looks like. We're having to start Stano on the side. He doesn't normally play. I really don't think this is a winnable match. I mean, look at how bad Senamela is at central defender, but I need to play him there because he's the only person that can do it. Our lack of squad depth is finally catching up with us. I managed to get away with it for most of the season. But this is not the match you want to be going into with a ragtag thrown together team. Look how bad Stano is on that side. And Mothi Bantwa, of course, sucks up front. Can I make him any better? Inconvincing is a false 9. Or is it deep lying forward? So I'll keep him as deep lying forward. This is not the match. Yeah, easy win predicted for Wits. And they're right. Wits is just going to destroy us. There is not a thing I can do to mitigate that with what I have available to me. And it's annoying just because of where the match fell in the season. If it was more in the middle of a big run, I could use it as a squad rotation game and put in a lot of the weaker players deliberately to rest up my good players for winnable matches. But there's no point because we're going into the international break. So I'm still going to name as strong a team as possible. It's just not very strong because I just don't have anyone. They want 3 attackers. Can I make Atladisa attacker? Not really. How about Tau? No. Goma Kutuva? No, he'd be real bad. Lacala? No. Think my best bet is Atladisa. There we go. That should make them happy. I'll probably change them back after a few minutes in the game. I don't feel like that's probably going to benefit us very well, but I'll do it for now to at least train them as if they're going to go attacking. Adam needs a rest. Mattia needs a rest. Yeah, everyone's just exhausted. This has been a really tough run of games. Mattia is a problem because I had him in for this game. Just cheer him up a bit with a new contract. And much like I had earlier, I'm going to rest him even though I really need him for this game because this isn't winnable. And if he goes down with an injury, it could screw the rest of our season. So I've got to still be conscientious to his fatigue levels, even though it basically guarantees that we're not only going to lose, but we're going to lose badly and take a pretty big morale hit from it. And possibly get me in trouble with the board, although I am at C+, so I can probably afford another loss. I keep winning the meaningless cup games that cheered him back up just enough to keep me alive. I don't think what he said was actually that unflattering. I mean, He just said he knows how to play against the formation I play, and that's reasonable. I am somewhat predictable in the tactics I choose. I've just always found that, like, changing up the tactics a lot messes things up more than it helps, because the players can't get comfortable. We see what happens just when I take a bunch of injuries and have to go into team rotation. Suddenly no one knows where anyone else is going to be. It's a million times worse if you're actually changing the formation as well as just who's playing at the positions. Oh, great. We got Davies pulled. I mean, we don't need him against Turks and Cacaos, but here's the islands, but that's still annoying. Minkube is not recommended to be selected. So no getting a break on our defensive line there. Strong wind could benefit us because it could disrupt what they're doing. We're having to put Sefema in for Mattia. That's really not good. Like, look how terrible our backline is right now. Sefema is terrible. Senamela is terrible. Akoma Tuka is not as good as I'd like. Manuzzi's not as good as I'd like. Ladissa's not as good as I'd like. Stano is terrible in that position. Monty Bant was pretty bad in his position. This is going to be rough. And Stano's not fully fit. How bad is he? Oh, he's real bad. Do I have anyone else that can play for him? Probably not. Matenge was injured. Moses is being rested. Ward's unregistered. Monty Bantwa is playing. Fountain is resting. Yeah, I have no one better to put in there. This is the lack of depth I was really afraid of catching up to us. So Stano is going to have to probably play the entire game starting on 78% stamina. At least the weather's finally cooled off. If he was having to do this in more 30-degree weather, it would be brutal. I mean, we're seeing what effect it's had on my stamina. That's the main reason my team is so exhausted right now. We've just been playing in non-stop hot weather. The only good side is Witt's coach was super cocky about knowing what my team's like, and so the fact that I'm bringing such a stitched together improvised team might throw him off because, I mean, who will get the team sheet I have and go, he's going to play these guys. But most likely this is what I was expecting. Zwane gets his 16th of the season, assisted by Benjamin. I feel like this is just going to be a rout. It's going to be rough. We're away for this match too, which just makes it tougher. pretty obvious watching this that we're just painfully outclassed. There we go. Benjamin got his 10th of the season solo. It's only 6 minutes in. Barring something outrageous happening, I don't think this is going to be a very fun game. Nadisha got a yellow. That could end up being relevant. And it looks like we've got a bit of a gauge on them. They haven't... As I start talking, they're in another highlight. But still, we held them for 10 minutes. Which is an improvement. And really here, I've just got to hope that this game doesn't destroy my team mentally. The only thing we have going for us is that the board only wanted a top half finish this year, so we can't fall out of what they wanted at the start of the year. But with my good early performance, they might have come to expect more from us over the course of that year. Oh, Atladisa gets his 2nd of the year, assisted by Monty Bantwa. That's a bit surprising. So we're only down by 1. And this is why you play all the games, even the ones that look like they're going to be devastating routes, because all of a sudden we're right back in this. It's been almost 20 minutes since they've managed to score on us, and we've gotten it back to within 1. Like, we're outclassed, but we're not going to be embarrassed here, hopefully. I might have wanted to play... Now that I think... Oh, Medisha gets his 6th, assisted by Benjamin. Benjamin's definitely the player of the match for this game. But I might have wanted to change the mentality coming in, because I've got them on control possession, but no one in place right now is capable of playing really control possession. They're just not good enough. Like, everyone's just overwhelmed when they get the ball because they're playing... It looks like Wits has brought pretty close to their top team today, and we definitely haven't. I mean, that sort of mistake. And I'm not going to get too upset today about the bad play like that's happening. Because, I mean, look at the team I named. Almost everyone is playing out of position or isn't a good player, and I knew that before I named them to the starting 11. So I really can't be mad at them for not playing good when I know they're not capable of playing good, at least in the positions I'm playing them. Because there are good players on the pitch. Like Stano's a good player, just not on the wing I've got him on. Senamela is a winger, not a defensive back, so of course he's going to struggle. Stanos fatigue's catching up to him, but he's made it almost to the 45-minute mark, so he should get enough of a rest that I can carry him to at least 60. See what that analysis that popped right when I was going in. Cover Benjamin. Yeah, no shit. Oh no, it looks like Atladisa might have just gotten himself a card. No, he didn't. We got lucky. When I saw him go through and then everything stop, I thought he had just gotten red carded. Nick Sully got a card for them. He used to play for us. Oh, and it's... Let's see. Mahoa's not playing well and Stano's not playing well. Well, it's definitely going to be Stano I'm taking off because he's exhausted as well. So we're going to put Malongo in and see if he can do something for us. Zwene gets his 17th, assisted by Matt Coena. Yeah, this is turning into the route I expected it to be. And I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen last week when I looked at the schedule. I just didn't have anyone available who was good enough to play in this match. Still want to take Stano off. So let's see if there's a way I can make Malongo work. He's clearly not actually a winger, but I can pull him in and play him tucked in close to Tau, and he's pretty good there. He can play as an Engash. Yeah, he's better than Stano was out on the wing, actually. Somehow Atladis is actually having a good game despite all the hardships our team's facing. Fema's looking exhausted, but Tau is playing terrible, so I think it's more important to take Tau off and replace him with Nick Selly. Case where I'm actually capable of doing a like-for-like exchange. It's not quite as good as I'd like, but neither is Tau, so we'll take it. And last change. Now Senamel is playing bad, but so is Safema, and Safema is far more tired. So we'll put Sammy Seaby in for him. He's going to be terrible in that position. He's a midfielder, not a defender, but then so is Safema, so he's just worse. There's not a way we can make him good. He's just a body to fill the spot. I basically brought him in to fail, but it's funny, this happens after I was talking for the last couple of sessions about how The winter run is not nearly as taxing as the fall. And I still believe that. Like, this schedule we had for the last period wouldn't have been that bad if we weren't playing every game in like 35-degree weather or 30-degree weather, which definitely hurts stamina regen because they took way longer to recover between games than usual. They're making it look like we actually have a chance of getting a goal right here at the end. If we can keep getting it to Aladisa, the one guy playing in position. Oh, the game's over. Never mind. Yeah, that went about as expected. The ref did good. Any highlights or any milestones for us? Senamela made his 50th appearance for us. Mati Bantwell made his 25th appearance for us. Seavey made his 225th league appearance. Nick Sully made his 25th appearance for us. So that's cool. We got some milestones at least. I don't feel that bad about this game. We stunk, but I knew we were going to stink. So I really I'm not upset about that game. That game played exactly the way I expected when I... Oh, the Super Sport United coach got fired. And we're starting to show up in the sack race. That's not a good sign. Lacala needs a rest. That's fine. This is a good time to rest him because we're into the international break anyway. Yeah, the coach is fine. The board is fine with that. I knew I'd be knocked down to a C, but I was expecting that. We've got Real Kings and Raja Casablanca when we come back. Those are winnable. Bloom Celtic is in there right away, so I can hopefully build up some good feelings from the board. Jim's not in that bad mental state, actually. And I was able to cheer everyone up. Well, okay, I wasn't really able to cheer everyone up. No, a couple people moved to the positive, but there wasn't a lot of change. That's fine. We weren't in that bad a mental state. Not as bad as they were letting on with that, the team's in terrible spirits setup. I think the squad is probably aware of the same things that I was, that we weren't in a position to win that game. It wasn't like the previous game where we just showed up and sucked. This one was unwinnable from the start. Well, okay, it was winnable, but it would have required some stuff to have gone differently earlier in the season between suspensions, injuries, and exhausted players. There was not much left they could have done. I would have had to preemptively rotate people out earlier in the year. And I didn't expect that it was going to stay that hot as long. And so we're going to exhaust the entire first team. I feel okay about the choices I made, even with that loss. And once Mirosavic went down to the red card, we were in trouble. Like, that's what really pushed it over the edge. It probably would have been a 1 or 2 goal loss if I could have brought my normal defensive line, but everyone was exhausted or injured or suspended. Nice to see Lacala doing good in training. He was one of the ones that didn't take a boost from the team meeting, so being able to talk him up there helped. Matthias signed a new deal. That's nice. I hate release clauses, but when I'm trying to hang on to good players, I kind of have to give them one. Because let's be honest, South African football is not the end for a lot of these guys. A lot of them want to move on to something more glamorous. Oh, great. Mirosavic has a hip injury and is out for basically the amount of time I have him left at the club. We'll send him to the specialist. But that is real bad. Because I already know he's leaving at the end of the season. And I don't think I have 3 or 4 months left on him. Maybe his transfer will fall through because he's injured. I'd be okay with that. See, who do I have left? Mattia, Adam, and Senamela. Yeah, I have 3 people who can fill 2 spots. Malanga's not, Mashego and Matenjwa, who are not ready to make their debuts. That is devastating. Try to be positive. I can't afford to have the team getting more demoralized right now. It's going to make finishing out this season extremely difficult. Now that's how you do a team meeting. Everyone's feeling much better after that. Let's see, how are we doing? Howard will be back in a day. Okay, we're good. Not another takeover. I just about got us out of financial trouble from the last takeover. I don't need someone else coming in and shaking things up. This looks like a solid side to bring to Turks and Cacaos. I don't like having Tabla as an inverted winger on that side, but Our development seems to be lacking in that one spot for some reason when I've been naming Canadian sides recently. If I can't get Alphonso Davies, I seem to be severely lacking other players to play in there. Okay, they want Noguera, Brogolard, Harbour, and Mujkic to play 45 minutes. That's reasonable. Let's see if I remember. That's true, they haven't renewed my contract. If we can't get something together towards the end of the season, they might just let that run out. Hot weather, perfect pitch, breezy. The heat is the only issue. But this is international, so I don't care as much. Stamina is less of an issue, because these are just friendlies. I've got to look at who's limited to 45 minutes that I have on the field. Mujkic and Harbour, it looks like. Yeah, Mujkic, Harbour, and Brogolard. Okay, so I'm going to have to change 3 people. That's alright, it'll get some new people a chance to get more caps. It's a friendly, I don't mind a lot of team rotation in it. I'd like to be up by at least a goal when I start rotating people out of the squad, though. Preferably several. This is a match we should be winning comfortably. But not if Amrani can't finish. Looks like Newbie picked up a bit of a knock for them. And I think the weather is having an effect, because this is not a very eventful game. Oh, Amrani hit the crossbar there. I get the distinct feeling no one's that interested in running today. Those are always the danger with these sort of friendlies, that you just show up and no one cares. They know it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter. I'm mostly just playing it because I want to get them playing together. Amrani gets a goal with an assist by Mujkic. That's good. Thought he was offside, but the referee hasn't said anything about it. Here we go. This might answer it. But what I was saying is, like, the only point is to get the team experience playing together. I guess he was onside when it was kicked. It was just off camera. They're going to tell us for sure now. Yeah, he's barely onside. So that was a good goal. Amrani's growing into quite a nice striker, even though he's not as good as David. He's a good alternative when David's not available. That's bad for Hassan. He should have been able to beat Amrani to that. Also, a really weak strike from Jonathan David there. I'm a little surprised his club didn't want me to limit him to 40 minutes. But I suppose I have less of a contentious relationship with his coach than I have with the coach of Bayern Leverkusen. He's still very mad that I played Davies for longer than I said I would a couple of times and broke him a couple of times. I'm shocked that we haven't been able to get up by more than one goal, though. They're definitely not playing as hard as they're capable of. There we go. Jonathan David, assisted by Amrani. 2 goals by the half. That's better. I mean, it is 30 degrees out there. I don't mind them taking it a little leisurely. Because at the end of the day, this game does not matter at all. And even with them taking it easy, it's taking a decent toll on their stamina already. Alright, let's see how I can submit this. I haven't actually tried doing it this way, but I figured out how to do this finally. So we're going to put Mello in for Brogolard and set him as a supporting fallback instead of a defensive. We'll take Haber off for Hatrell. And then we'll take Mujkic off for Arja. Like I said, I played around with how this works a bit, and I realized there had to be an actual elegant way to do that instead of trying to do it through the menu screen. So the big issue is just that Diaz isn't that good. Tabla's not that good where I'm playing him. Arja's underwhelming, but pretty good overall. Mello's not quite as good as I'd like. Hatrell's not quite as good as I'd like. I'm trying a lot of kids right now. Nice shot from Owusu. It was a little high, but that was a good strike. Amrani is fast. That's one of the things I like about him. I wasn't that impressed when I first started playing him at striker, but he's really grown into a good player. Let's see, anyone need to change? Everyone's playing well, everyone's stamina is still good. I'm not making any changes right now. I've already made 3 changes in this game. And Singh, their goaltender, is really doing a good job today. Good play from Mello to keep breaking up their attempts to get forward. And here we go. Let's see something from Jonathan David. There we go. Scores assisted by Arja. I mean, he already had a goal, so that's his brace. I haven't seen him in a lot of the highlights. He got that one goal right up in the ugly mess by the net. But this is the first time I've really seen him do Jonathan David things. And that's a dangerous free kick. That we took very poorly, but we got a corner out of it. Let's see if I need to make any adjustments. We're still doing good on stamina. Everyone's still playing well. I can let it keep going. Oh, Singh just beat Amrani to that. Our team's definitely checked out. I'm looking at their body language. They're all disinterested. The heat is getting to them. That's why we're not scoring as much as we should be against a team this much worse than us. And that's what I was worried about. No one really cares about this match. They know it's a friendly. They know they're playing vastly inferior opponents, and that this match was just scheduled so they get time playing together. So they're basically treating it like a training session. What the hell was that? There was no one around that. I guess he just wanted to get it down out of his end. Good goal from Tabla, assisted by Cordova. After I'd been talking about how he's not very good in that side. And he isn't compared to where he normally plays, but I mean, he gets the job done. When managing an international side, you kind of have to be okay with having a couple of 2-star players on the field, just because you can't really control the development enough to ensure that that doesn't happen. Alright, let's see. Everyone's playing great, and still having no fatigue issues, which is remarkable for in 30-degree weather. It really shows that they're not working that hard. Because you compare that to what Amazulu's stamina is like in comparable weather, and they're all down in the low 60s by this point. Couple guys in 50 just sucking air and begging me to take them off the pitch. Here, everyone's still pretty fresh, and they're like, yeah, we could play again in 2 days. Who cares? Oh, David was offside for that one. A lot of people were offside for that one. Good offside trap from Turks and Cacaos. Raz Belzy got a yellow. Not sure what he did. Oh, and David drew a penalty, so he's probably going to get his hat. Oh, wow, he hit the post. And then just stood there stunned. You can see how checked out they are. Normally they would have run in and kicked that in, but he's like, we're up by 4. I'm not running in this heat. That was terrible. Alright, Owusu and Tabla are getting tired. But there's only a minute left. I'm not making a special sub now. You can see the young guys are super interested. Like, Diaz ran his guts out there. But the older players are just like, who cares? David just standing there after missing the penalty when he had an easy goal right in front of him. He's like, I got a brace today. It doesn't matter. I'm happy. There we go. No highlights for us. Imrani was the player of the match. Not shocking there. I was talking about how good he was. Oh, the Nashville SC coach got sacked. I'm not sure why I care about that, but apparently it's relevant. Anyway, that's it for today. A little bit underwhelming, but we knew that when we looked at the schedule. So next time we have our friendly with Panama. And then we have to switch back over to Amazulu, where, if I can get this back up, we're getting to the bottom part of the season. We take on Real Kings, who are pretty bad, so this is a chance for us to start going in the right direction again. That's actually going to be a pretty key match, even though, like, it's a bad side that normally wouldn't be that interesting. But this is important because this is a chance for me to turn things around. The board is starting to lose patience with my struggles, and this is a point where I can bring in a fresh team after the break, go out, beat Kings by 1 or 2 because we don't have a lot of goals on the side we have right now, shut them down, and hopefully start turning the corners so that I don't get sacked. Anyway, thank you for watching our journey. Hopefully you had fun, even though our Premiership match didn't go remotely well today. But that's football. You can't win them all. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.